My mom cried, please, no DNA tests, to hide her secret about my dead father. I said fine. Then I gave out DNA tests as Thanksgiving presents. My mom had been begging me for years not to take any DNA tests because she claimed the companies steal your data and clone you or whatever, but turns out the real reason was way worse. 3 years ago, she literally cried when she found out I was considering taking one for a medical study that paid $2,000. Please, honey, just trust me on this one thing. She sobbed into her wine glass at dinner. Our family doesn't need to be in some government database. I thought she was being paranoid, but I loved her, so I said fine and turned down the study money. She looked genuinely relieved and hugged me like I'd just saved her life. 3 weeks later, I was visiting my cousin for the first time since they'd moved back to town when her mom walked in and my heart stopped. My aunt was carrying a cake, and right behind her was a man I'd never met but who looked shockingly familiar. Oh hey, can you grab the presents from the car? My aunt said casually to her husband. I was frozen because this man had my exact nose and jawline and the same unusual green eyes I saw in the mirror every morning. You okay? My cousin asked, and I mumbled something about needing air. Outside, I called my mom with shaking hands. Why does your sister's husband look exactly like me? There was silence so long I checked if the call dropped. You're imagining things, sweetie, she finally said, but her voice was wrong. He's just got one of those generic faces. Generic faces didn't share my rare eye color and the birthmark on my temple. I spent 2 weeks playing detective, and the truth made me sick. The death certificate was fake. Mom had lied about a house fire destroying his photos, and my aunt and mom had been sharing this man since high school. My blood boiled, but then I got the most beautiful idea. I waited until I got home to process everything, and then texted my cousin. Want to help me with something crazy for Thanksgiving? She wrote back instantly. Is this about my stepdad looking exactly like you? Because I've been thinking the same thing for hours. I explained my suspicions, and she went quiet before responding. Holy shit, that would explain why our moms barely talk anymore. We spent the next hour planning, and she was fully on board.